Have you ever noticed how, when you dive into a swimming pool, the deeper you go, the more pressure you feel on your ears? Or on a stormy day, when strong winds blow, it almost feels like the roof is about to lift off? These feelings aren't random. They come from the fascinating world of fluid physics, the science that explains how pressure, buoyancy, and flow shape our everyday lives. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Axiom class. It's great to see you again. Let's dive in and start today's lesson. Pressure is just the amount of force applied perpendicular to a surface, divided by the area of that surface. The standard unit is a Pascal, which equals 1 Newton of force spread over 1 square meter. In daily life, though, we often talk about pressure in atmospheres or millimeters of mercury. For example, the air pressure around us at sea level is about 1 atmosphere or 760 millimeters of mercury. In fluids, there's a key rule called hydrostatic pressure. It says that the pressure of a fluid depends only on 3 things: the density of the fluid, the acceleration of gravity, and the depth. That's why every extra meter you dive underwater adds more pressure to your body. You can even see it in a simple water bottle. If you poke holes at different heights, the water shoots out much harder from the lower hole because the pressure is greater there. Doctors rely on this principle too. When they measure your blood pressure, they're essentially measuring the pressure of the blood pushing against the walls of your vessels. To measure pressure, scientists came up with clever instruments. The barometer, invented by Torricelli in the 17th century, uses a column of mercury to show atmospheric pressure. Because mercury is very dense, the column can be short and practical. Climb a mountain and the mercury level drops, showing that the air is thinner at higher altitudes. Another tool is a manometer, that simple U-shaped tube filled with liquid. The difference in liquid height shows the pressure difference. This is exactly how tire pressure is checked, usually 2 to 3 bars above atmospheric pressure, to keep your car safe on the road. Now, let's move to Archimedes' principle, also known as buoyancy. It says that any object placed in a fluid experiences an upward force equal to the weight of the displaced fluid. That's why gigantic ships float on the ocean. Even though they're massive, their overall density is less than water because of all the empty space inside. So they stay afloat. But if water fills that empty space, the density increases and the ship sinks, just like the Titanic. The same principle explains why helium balloons rise. The surrounding air is heavier than helium, so the balloon floats upward. Submarines also rely on this law. When they fill their tanks with water, they become heavier and sink. When they pump air into the tanks, they become lighter and rise again. Next comes Pascal's principle. It says that if you apply pressure to a confined fluid, that pressure is transmitted equally in all directions. Sounds simple, but it powers some of the most important technologies we use. Think about car brakes. When you press the pedal, the pressure travels evenly to the brake fluid to all 4 wheels, stopping the car at once. The same principle works in a car jack. A mechanic applies a small force on one side, and the pressure multiplies, lifting an entire vehicle. Even a simple medical syringe works the same way. A small push on the plunger sends a liquid out through the needle with equal pressure. And finally, Bernoulli's principle, one of the most exciting. It tells us that in a moving fluid, wherever the speed increases, the pressure decreases. That's the secret behind airplane wings. Air moves faster over the curved top of the wing, creating lower pressure above than below, and that difference generates lift. Formula One cars also rely on this effect. Their aerodynamic design makes air move faster underneath, lowering the pressure and pressing the car down onto the track for better grip. You can even see Bernoulli's principle in your daily routine. Take a perfume spray bottle. When air moves quickly through the narrow nozzle, the pressure there drops. That drop in pressure pulls the liquid perfume up the small tube and turns it into a fine mist in the air. The same trick works in bug sprays, paint sprayers, or even when you float a ping pong ball in the airstream of a hairdryer. The fast-moving air lowers the pressure and holds the ball in place. So, from diving underwater to blood pressure checks, from massive ships to helium balloons, from brakes and syringes to airplanes, and even the perfume you use every day, all of them are living examples of these simple, beautiful principles of fluid physics. Don't forget to follow Axiom and share this with your friends, so they can also enjoy the amazing world of physics in action